Here we are, round number 3 out in Fairport. You got the man, the myth, the legend right beside me, the admiral of the airwaves, the Poindexter of podcasts. Your favorite of mine. Give it up. Don't get it up, but give it up for the one and only Mr. Bill Moran. Woo!
Wow, look at that. Dougie Fresh.
In the house, baby. Panama, 1984.
In the house.
Track number 6.
Is it track number 6?
I don't know.
Might be. I don't know.
I think it's 3.
So, Randy and Christine may remember this name. Uncle Raj. Uncle Raj. Uncle Raj was DJ, did overnights on CMF for 30-something years.
I remember that name.
And Raj just liked doing overnights. I used to pick him up for meetings and things and bring him to work because he'd be sleeping during the day. And he had some rental properties and things, and he never wanted to work during the day. And he didn't like the corporate bullshit of radio, but he did, much like, I guess, you guys, sort of, a different version of that. He did Homegrown, which was all local bands, and they would play that, and they would put out albums and stuff. So when I started, there was a guy on the college campus, Mark Moran. I went to Fisher, and he called himself Moranimal, and I said to him, hey, I want to steal that name because I was on CMF my senior year. So I was doing it, and I started calling myself Moranimal, and Uncle Raj used to come in and sing to Panama. He would go, Moranimal. So I had Charlie Fitzsimmons, who now owns Black and Blue and the Village Bakery and Trotta and JoJo's and all these other restaurants. He sang it. And I had a little shout out that was Moranimal to the Panama song, but it was Uncle Raj's idea. That was the thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was interesting. I forgot about Homegrown because you don't get a lot of. And then I think Frank was doing something on a local radio station as well for a while, featuring local bands. Sort of after Homegrown had gone away. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He picked it up, and I think he even benefited from Homegrown when he was in the Phrenic Flat Tops. So yesterday I happened to go to Henrietta because my son wanted to play in that pickup basketball game, and the gym was over there. And as we're leaving, the gym is near Red Lobster, and I go, what happened to Red Lobster? Like, it looks abandoned already. Oh, yeah. And they just closed. Like, this was Monday night. They had Mother's Day, and then I'm reading on Facebook, some woman says her son showed up to work, and they had a notice on the door that says Red Lobster is permanently closed. So then I look it up, and depending on the news report, anywhere from 48 to 80 locations around the country just shut down to avoid bankruptcy. But they didn't. See, here's the thing that I have to say. They don't owe you an explanation, unfortunately. They don't. It's a business. And this is the cold side of business. Take all feelings out of it. It doesn't matter. Do you want to work for a company like that? Probably not. Would have been nice to know, hey, Doug, don't show up on Monday.
You might want to go find a new job.
Done. Like, you show up and the job isn't there and you had no idea.
Right.
I mean, that's terrible because you're planning, right? You have your personal budgets and your things, and you went to get your gig on, and you found bands you want to see, and they got a cover charge, but you got the money because you got your gig.
They sang Rock Lobster.
But then I'm reading, Hattiesburg is gone, right? Like, multiple Red Lobsters. I think there was one in Florida that was open for 31 years, and they're closing it. Just shut down.
Like that.
But I've never seen that happen where a business of any kind doesn't even tell its employees, just boom, done. Now, somewhere somebody had to know what was coming and what ones were being done. And I would even think at the local level, someone knew. How the fuck do you keep your mouth shut?
Well, are they independently owned?
I don't.
So like a franchise?
I don't know. Because
the one on Ridge Road's still open, I believe.
Okay, so if the one on Ridge Road is open, maybe that's true, and maybe corporate own these 80 around the country.
Or maybe just ones were doing better money than others.
Absolutely, yeah. So they're trying to avoid bankruptcy, and they're trying to sell whatever the parent company is. So in order to sell the parent company, you don't want to be in bankruptcy if you can avoid it. So they sold off, or they just closed. They didn't sell off. They just closed. Red Lobster.
For years, there was
it was always packed.
Yeah.
It was always packed. But I've never heard of any place. Now, you've worked in the hospitality industry for years. For years. Any place just closed? Just that was it? Done?
Classic Cat.
Oh, yeah, they just locked their doors, but there was no warning to. And the dancers had to know. They didn't know.
Nope.
Wait, they showed up to get on the pole. And there was no pole.
The owner shut the door at midnight and said, "That's it. We're done.
Really?
Grab whatever you want."
Dennis?
No.
Was it the Mirage?
No. It
Oh, you said
Dennis was
Classy Cat. I'm
Classy
sorry.
Cat.
Yeah.
And he goes, "That's it." And even my friend DJ, he goes, "Doug, we're done." And I'm getting all these calls like, "Did you know?" I'm like, "No, I haven't worked there in 10 years."
The Classy Cat just folded up.
That was it.
Wow.
For whatever reasons, there was rumors. I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to say anything, but that was that.
Well, it's a tough business because if you're not, any business, right? Especially when you're in business for yourself. You own your own business, Beck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's really hard. And sometimes the business owner, if you let everybody know, first of all, like the employees might stop working so hard.
Right.
But also, it's a pride thing.
It's
And,
it's a pride thing.
You're really working hard. You put your all into it, and then to have to close, it's often a decision you make on the spot.
Yeah.
Or you make it the day before. It's like, you know what, it's not lucrative. We're gonna lose more money than we're gonna make if we stay open.
Right. See, it is tough, but I mean, just all of a sudden to close and have the doors locked, and then I go, I think there's going to be auctions for the stuff inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, to get the stuff.
What stuff?
The equipment.
All the equipment,
Okay,
but not just that, the artwork. They got swordfish on the wall. That would look good. Doug?
Bam! If
Right
you get
here.
a swordfish in
Yes.
here, okay.
Swordfish on
Right.
the wall.
Happy Mother's
Put that
Day,
over
Mom.
Put that over your mantle or over your bed.
Right.
You know, I mean, what says man more than a swordfish over the bed?
I jumped in. I ran out of fishing line and jumped in and got that.
I saw a video of a woman on a boat fishing off the side, right? And all of a sudden, something big gets on the line, and the pole shoots out of her hands. The guy standing behind her pushes her back, dives in, and gets the pole, and the boat's circling to go pick him up.
Wow.
Yeah, same thing. But I'm going, what would you want from Red Lobster? Do they have some?
I want the neon lights they have in the window.
Yeah. I think I bet you can get those.
Prizes.
I think you can get. There's got to be some kind of Red Lobster logo or something that you could
I'm
have.
gonna put that.
I don't know, nostalgia, buddy. Yeah, the history of Henrietta.
You're gonna have. Okay, everybody, get your lobster claws clapping for Becca and the Bobcats. Red Lobster.
But it is a smart move to not have anybody answer questions. Like, you're closing. You don't have to answer any questions
Yeah, I can
whatsoever.
see. Honey, I'm going to buy you that ring as soon as my paycheck comes in tomorrow. No! I ain't buying it. You're lying again.
Imagine you come home with a fake swordfish. You got it at the Red Lobster auction.
Right.
That would be amazing.
That would be.
Put that on the wall.
That would get you laid.
Or a wheel. Or a wheel. They have the ship wheel. The ship wheel.
Yeah.
Beck, come on.
Yeah.
How great would that
Now
be?
wait a minute.
The ship wheel.
There's still.
I want the ship
What about
wheel.
the lobster tank? Did they take the lobsters home with them, or is it still bubbling? Lobsters
Wait,
hey,
Did they have lobsters?
Joe, did we miss a Jewish holidays? Everybody, anybody coming in today? They're just waving by.
Wait, did they have lobster tanks in there?
Yeah,
I think
as
I've
soon
been
as
to
you
Red
walk
Lobster
in.
once.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, as soon as you walk in, they got them.
Yeah, because Jimmy Schubert used to do a bit about the fish.
Yeah.
Like at a fish restaurant, and he goes, you're swimming around in there one day, and you're going, "Hey, Larry, look at all these people in here. Look at all this stuff." And all of a sudden, one day, you see what looks like Larry going by on a plate with some garnish. And
He
you're going,
made it.
Larry! It's so funny. Well, I want the ship wheel from inside, or the big net. Didn't they have a giant net with buoys? Yeah, I want the net with buoys.
Shells in it.
Yes, the shells, all that stuff, all that decor. Come on, Doug, that would
All
be
right.
great.
Hey, maybe we could find it on some poster.
Nautical. Somebody in the Finger Lakes has a nautical theme.
Get your Red Lobster on.
How?
people
Don't they?
Many.
Right. How many homes have you gone to and they have an old oar as the banister?
Well, my ex-husband has a ship wheel on the wall. It used to be in my home.
Oh.
So it's
I didn't mean to bring up a
Was he in
painful
the-
memory.
was he-
I didn't.
was he in the
I
Navy?
wasn't trying to bring up sad things for you. I saw a tear start to come down her eye and just trickle down.
Was he in the Navy?
no, his mom.
No, Red Lobster went out of business and he won the auction.
Right, actually, that's how it happened.
He just wanted the big wheel in the house.
Yeah.
It was like a nautical. Do you live on the bay or anything?
His mom does on the lake.
On the lake?
Yeah.
I dated somebody who lived, her front yard was basically Irondequoit Bay. Parked the boat, I had a little dock, and we put in big, like, nautical rope as the fence around the deck.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah, it's a nice touch, right? That's what I'm saying. If you
Right.
need these nice touches.
If you're nautical.
Right, well, why not?
Right.
Nautical Bill the Sailor. I think I could go.
I got some ice in my freezer from the Titanic. No, seriously. Yeah, that's what I want.
No?
Fucking Red Lobster on my wall.
I think it could be kind of hot,
Yeah.
right? What you get in there? What if
If I took you home and I had this big swordfish in my little apartment, what would you say? Like, don't you have a dog or something?
What would you say? What would you say?
Oh, Sarah's
I wanted
texting
it.
me. I gotta go.
Be texting.
Yeah.
Really bad. Something's
Can I use
going
your
on.
bathroom? Call me in 3 minutes.
So, Beck, you're divorced.
Yeah.
In a relationship now?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Groupie. brings in the speaker.
No,
She's in a band. Everybody's getting laid in a band.
No, but I wanted
Pat
to ask
Benatar had a
her.
lot of ass.
Pat did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot.
So that's why she had such a hard time getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. People were keeping her around. They're like,
Treat me right.
Did you ever do the escape plan text?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I have on dates. Yes.
Yeah, on dates. Like,
Yep. I
what?
got a friend.
You have a friend.
Yeah, she knows. I'm like, I need you now.
Really?
The call me in 3 minutes thing is
Do
not a
you want to hear something terrible?
So this is a real thing. I always wondered if it was real. Like, I'm not, I wouldn't.
You want to hear something
Dating.
bad? I went out with a date with a girl, and I went to the bathroom, and I text my buddy while I'm peeing. I'm like, hey, I'm good. I'm having a really good time with this girl. And I went back to the table, and I actually text her instead of my friend.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I almost
Yeah.
spit. Well,
I did, yeah.
Hey, at least that's better than,
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
call me. Get me the fuck out of this.
So, yeah, I could fuck up a bologna sandwich.
Yeah, I think you could. You
Yeah.
could fuck up a 2-car funeral.
Right.
Like, you're going, Jesus Christ. It's like, what's going on?
Right.
Yeah. How long have you been married, Michael?
12 years.
Man, good luck keeping that going.
Keep it going.
Nah,
See how I knew it right on the spot?
Yeah.
I was
He's probably
he
gonna
knew.
go.
He knew. He knew.
He's
right
got a
there.
swordfish in the
He
living
knew.
room, though.
Well, that's how you do it. You keep it there. That's why if she tries to leave, you just pin her to the wall
You
with
want
your
to hear?
swordfish.
You want to hear a fact? And this is not a joke, but I just heard this last month. This is not a joke. I swear to God. Pirates, why they wore the eye patch, was to get their one eye used to night vision. So they'd be
I didn't
better
know
at
that.
Sailing. Either did I.
I didn't know
and
that.
That's the truth.
Really?
Little fun fact for you,
Yeah.
since we're
Didn't know
talking
that
about
either.
Red Lobster.
It is weird. A pirate. I never asked why the patch.
Yeah.
It's just something
Try to
tragic
get your
happened.
night- yeah, everybody kept
I
walking
did.
into doors.
Yeah, I always thought right. Or
Captain
you got
Hook, you got something in your eye. Arr!
Yes, exactly it. God, eye boogers. Arr. The whole thing is gone. It's terrible.
Yeah, to work on their night vision.
Oh wow, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Look at that.
How about
I love
that?
the idea though of the on call friend. Yeah, that you can do. Somebody, I think there's apps now that you can have call you. You can set up a time, so it'll call you automatically. So it looks like
Somebody
you're
just
getting a
texted me
call.
something too. If you are a bartender and a woman comes up and asks you for an angel shot,
Yes.
you're supposed to call
Yep.
911.
Yep.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
The angel shot?
Yeah.
Is that because she's in trouble?
That's what I've heard too.
In
Yeah.
trouble,
She's in
feels
trouble,
uncomfortable.
doesn't-
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe the guy
person's
drove.
pressuring her,
Yeah.
maybe she feels like she was roofied
Right.
or something.
Yeah. The roofie thing I always was thought seemed, and I don't, this will sound terrible, but it was always like something that happened to somewhere else to someone else, right? Like it just doesn't happen here. And then,
It's happened to me 3 or 4 times. I wake up and then they're gone. So, I mean, not in a good, I just.
all
never
my
mind.
clothes are on, my
Yeah,
shoes
my
are still
shoes are on.
tied, my belt's real tight.
Don't call me. It's written on my forehead. I look in the mirror. I'm like, okay, I got it.
No, but there was it's a woman I'm still in contact with today. How'd you get away from him? I roofied him.
him.
I used to tranquilizer dart.
Popping Viagra like they're pills or roofies.
Don't ever date anyone from the zoo, Doug.
Why?
And all of a sudden,
Tranquilizer?
no, this girl I knew, she showed up late. She was an intern, and she showed up late, and I had known her for a while, and I'm going, something's not right. And then the radio station manager was getting annoyed, and they wanted to fire her, and I go, what happened? And she starts talking. I go, you need to go get tested, because she's like, yeah, I was just out and I think I had one. And all of a sudden she was like, these guys showed up. Sure enough. And then they went back in the security camera and they saw him put some kind of liquid in her drink. Isn't that scary? Right here in Rochester. And you had no idea.
Yeah.
But I tried to look for the silver lining and everything, Beck. I said, God damn, you're so hot that someone, what? That doesn't work?
Okay.
I mean, how scary is that? That
Scary. It could be your daughter, your
well, it
mother,
could be
your sister, anybody.
Yeah, anybody.
Well,
Right.
I share my location permanently with several friends and my
You do?
sister and yeah, on my phone. And most people, when I am dating and not in a relationship and I go on a first date, everybody knows in my circle. Just to
Yeah.
protect
Have you ever had people go to the restaurant and just sit, you know, like the secret shopper somewhere? But do you ever have somebody like sit like a booth or two away?
No, I like that though.
No, because Tambourine Mom's the one I heard that from. She said, "Listen, if you ever go on a date, you want this is she'll be two
That's
away."
a great idea.
Well, actually, I think there was a time my mom's sister, who was like 15 years younger, was on dating. They just were starting dating apps. And she was meeting some guy at a restaurant, and my father and my brother-in-law, who was a West Point, my brother-in-law was a West Point graduate and was a captain in the Army, they went and just sat somewhere else in the restaurant just to keep an eye.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know.
Sad that you have to be that careful.
Well, yeah, it is sad.
Scary.
Now,
Scary.
all right, here's the other one. Now, we've talked a lot about Get Your Gig On, and Get Your Gig On started on Facebook, right? And then you have now this fabulous website, getyourgigon.org. Have you ever heard of the Facebook page, Are We Dating the Same Guy? Oh! Well, I did.
just had this
You just had the conversation.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on it.
What do you mean you're on it?
I'm on that page. I'm a member of that group.
You're a member of that group?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's more for entertainment.
Yeah, I would think so. I think it's definitely got a Jerry Springer-esque attitude about it. I think that's certainly true. I think that my picture popped up there once. I think it was put up as a joke, and then thankfully people just wrote nice things, and no one knew if I was dating anybody or not, which I keep it very, very.
Nobody's business who's
It's
your,
also
who
a
you're
protection
dating.
thing.
It's not, but there was I know some people. I know a guy who was dating a couple different women, and I guess one woman really thought it was exclusive, but you got to have a gut feeling, don't you?
Right.
I mean, I always call it your gut feeling, call it your intuition, your inner being, whatever. Something's telling you something's up, so you go on the website and you just say, is anybody else dating this guy? And someone writes back, oh my God, I am.
Or, oh my God, that's my husband.
Oh! Wait, has that happened?
Oh, yes.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, yeah, multiple times.
What?
Yep.
You dumb.
Or someone saying, like, oh, that person's married to my cousin. Or
Oh.
things like that. People just calling them out. Yeah.
How many members are on this?
Thousands. And there's for every town. There's
Oh, yeah.
all over the place.
I know there's a Buffalo one,
Yep.
and I know that there's a
There's Syracuse.
yeah.
Or Central New York.
Because I have a friend who's a pretty well-known guy, and he's talked about it on this podcast. Greg Connors went out on a lunch, but he thought it was more like a friend thing, coworker type. I think this person may have worked in the periphery of law, maybe something that supports law more or less. And so went and had lunch, and then she went and put his picture up on the Buffalo page saying, did anybody dating this? And her purpose was she was interested.
I got you.
And so she was just trying to clear the lane, so to
There's a
speak.
fine line, though, because it's calling out the guy. And
Yeah, he was pissed when he
Yeah.
saw. He's like, "What's going on? Somebody tell me I'm on this website."
Right.
Yeah,
Because
right.
automatically you assume that person's doing someone.
It's
dirty.
not freedom of press.
Like
It's just cropping and cutting and putting my picture on there.
Yeah.
It's not,
No,
you know.
not at all. But why are guys so fucking dumb?
Guys.
No,
I think
because
it's a equal balance.
I say it's more guys.
Okay.
Because if you're married, and then you're gonna get caught anymore. You just are.
There
Oh,
was someone
especially
that was
these
doing
days.
someone.
Yeah, but there's cameras everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I just saw, Doug walking by with
Right.
Mrs. DeSalvo on my Ring doorbell. You know what I mean? I was just trying to see if the mailman had come, and then there's Doug and Mrs. DeSalvo, and I just had dinner with the DeSalvos 2 weeks ago.
Well, I told her not to say anything or I'd take her teeth.
By the way, Mrs. DeSalvo was a porn that we watched. Like when I used to be,
Cheryl DeSalvo?
I don't know. I was part of
Just guessing here.
I was part of a radio show. It wasn't my radio show. I was producing this radio show. And we all went to Canada, some tourism thing. We're staying at a hotel, and the host of the show, whose name may or may not be Brother Weeze, comes down and goes, "Bro, you got to see this porno I watched last night." So Tommy and I were staying in the room together. We watched Mrs. DeSalvo. We laughed. It was like a comedy. It was so bad. It was so comical. And she was not. She looked like something you would dig.
Phyllis Diller? Something I would date. See?
Well, you're saying older. She was older. She was older, and it was just corny language. It was like really funny.
They should get my new girlfriend on their site.
What's your new?
She's 72 and a DJ, but she plays rap music. Yeah, her name's Busta Hip.
I just had to see. I just had to see.
It works. It works.
I was waiting. I didn't think it would. I leaned back because I go, here he comes with
I
this.
dated Eileen too.
Yeah?
Oh, she had one leg.
Really?
Yeah, she worked
I
at
called her
IHOP.
Peg. Oh!
She had a wooden leg. She held her socks up with thumbtacks.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard that she worked at Red Lobster, had a patch over her eye. She's now homeless because she doesn't have a job. They
Right.
closed it. They still can't get over that. Just put a sign up. Hey,
Red Lobster. They were doing so well. Proud sponsor of the Summer Olympics.
But you know what was interesting? You were talking about comments in the last segment.
yeah.
I don't know if I saw it on 13 Wham. They had the article, and I was reading the comments, and the caption on the headline read "Red Lobster on the Jeff in Henrietta closes," and everyone was like thrown out of store. The Jeff? Who calls
Right,
Jefferson?
on
Did
the
you see
Jeff.
that?
Oh.
Yeah, the Jeff.
Yeah.
I've
never
lived here
heard that.
30 years.
Yeah.
I've never heard it called that.
Well, maybe we're on to something new. Maybe we need to start trying to call it the Jeff.
The Jeff.
We'll call it the Jeff. That would be a great thing. That just made me pull. I just have to read. So Sandra Dorley at Sandra_Dorley on X, who, by the way, greatest advertisement for Quatella ever. I mean, that deep neck contour she got. She looked hot on a body cam at 60. I gotta say, it's great work. But all the things. Somebody writes, "Go away, you're a joke of a human. Why do you still have a job? Resign." These are the comments. Aren't you supposed to resign now? Keep up the great work, says somebody. Great job, DA. Somebody says, "Why haven't you resigned yet? Monroe County needs a DA who doesn't believe they are above the law." I love that people have opinions, but they're like assholes, you know. And so yeah, and so you just you spit it out there, and it's like this is just it's like yelling into a hole. Like no, you know what I mean? There's nobody hearing you. No one's saying anything. But I love that the Jeff who calls it the Jeff.
Yeah.
I haven't called it the Jeff ever at all.
No, I've never
I'm
heard
gonna
of it.
start.
People were like, forget
Yeah.
the article. Why are you calling it the
Has
Jeff?
anybody dated this guy on the Jeff?
Right, right.
He used to work at Red Lobster.
I had a friend who posted about a guy on there, and he ended up taking her to court.
He took her to court.
Yeah.
Wait.
Defamation. Like, he was real angry. Obviously.
Could you
Good.
lean in that mic a little bit more?
Oh,
so
sorry.
no, that's okay. So tell him
She's not used to a microphone.
because look at what you
She
did
gets
there.
my humor.
Yeah, that's it.
Bust a hip.
So, yeah, sure. Defamation. Was he someone who was kind of known?
She was dating him. She thought she was the only one. Someone else was. It was true. He
Yeah.
was dating two women. But
Yeah.
he felt that his name was slandered. And
Slandered.
Yeah.
Well, is it when you're dating somebody? Is it kind of unless they say exclusive? Do you just kind of?
right. It's
Yeah,
a fine
I mean,
line.
it is a fine line because it's a hard thing, and especially when I don't know. You were married. I don't know if you have kids. All that stuff. You have two. Yeah, it's just tough to navigate, right? And so
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
trying to keep all that stuff, and yet at the same time, you don't want to get run over by somebody either.
Right.
Yeah, and
What if
then
you sleep with somebody on the first date? It happens.
Right. And
Are you
feelings, and
exclusive,
then-
or you just
Right.
we'll see you
well,
next week? Or
I think
if it wasn't that
Never.
good, you don't want to see me again, or how do you do that? I mean, honestly, I was talking to this girl on one of the dating sites, and she texted me. This is not a joke. She texted me earlier, and she goes, "Hey, how's it going?" And I said, "Good. I'm just out driving." And then the 3 hours passed. I go, "And you?" Without conversation, I just ended up deleting her and blocking her
why? Because she
because
just
it was just random things just to.
Now,
She
hang
wouldn't
on a second.
respond.
Hang on a second.
If
Ask
somebody
a woman,
texts you and then you respond, you don't hear from 3 hours
Well,
later.
I'm notorious.
Or
I'm not a good responder.
No, okay. Then
well, see, this is the
if
thing.
you're starting a conversation, keep it going.
Yeah,
And-
but maybe she put it out
No,
there.
because this has happened for a couple weeks. Like she'll
Yeah,
say a couple
she's not
words,
interested.
then nothing, and then but like 3 days later, hey, how you been? I'm like, I'm not getting this. if
Oh,
you're-
okay,
you
all
know.
right.
Inconsistent.
Yeah, I can't have that.
Yeah.
I guess.
What is the best dating site if you were on a dating site?
RedLobster.com.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any dating sites?
Yeah. Like Hinge.
Hinge?
Yeah.
What is Hinge?
My
Hinge or
niece
Bumble?
tells me to do Hinge.
Yeah.
That's where
It's
she
a little
met her.
classier, I guess.
Yeah.
In the whole dating app world. But I don't know.
Plenty
you
of
answer
fish.
questions about yourself, and instead of it being like a whole bio, you actually answer like specific questions.
Okay.
I don't know. They all kind of suck.
They do?
Yeah. It's not fun out there.
It's not?
No. I mean, it's entertaining at first.
Yeah.
But if you have no place to meet somebody, at least you're looking at pictures with the
true.
hope that
Right.
somebody's going to respond. And
Right.
you
And
know,
meeting
go out
people
for
in
coffee.
bars is not always ideal either. so-
no.
Right.
No.
Yeah, especially if you're-
alcohol.
But where
All
else?
eyes are on you at a bar. You're up there singing, and everybody wants you. It's got to be tough.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I had a
I
friend
mean-
meet her husband at Wegmans. So then I started like dressing cute when I went to Wegmans. 'Cause I'm like, maybe that's where I'll meet him.
Did it work?
What Wegmans do you go to?
Wait, how did she meet her husband at Wegmans? Because these
in
are.
line. It was really sweet. And they both have kids and they were in line and then they exchanged numbers and now they're married.
Really?
Aw.
Yeah.
And what Wegmans was it?
I don't know.
Oh, well, see,
Webster,
that's the
probably
problem.
in
Oh,
Webster.
okay. All right.
She was in
I
the
mean, I'm
frozen.
assuming because
Yeah, because the East Avenue Wegmans I used to hear was the hookup Wegmans, but I don't.
I could see that.
yeah.
Single
A
professional.
lot of single people down there. Yeah, but I think you can meet people the gym.
True.
Yeah,
On a music site?
on a music
Oh,
site.
yeah.
Get your gig on. Get your date on.
Yeah.
Maybe there needs
Stay
to be.
tuned.
Maybe there. Whoa! Look at this. Maybe we need a subsidiary. I'm just saying that could be. I love knowing that a guy sued though.
Yeah.
Yeah, went after it.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, and there was some kind of settlement. I'm not sure.
there was a
There was?
settlement.
some kind of there was things that she said that were untrue. And
Did she have to pay money?
I don't remember.
Ew.
No, I don't know.
Let's get him on here.
Yeah, I know.
Him and her.
Well,
Her first.
It would be. It would
She's
be.
a riot.
I bet. Yeah.
She's a wackadoodle.
Well, maybe not.
That's why we got to interview him and see what happens.
You know, she
Yeah.
could be. What if all of a sudden we have her in one you're on, and you strike a conversation up?
Yeah, she doesn't have to worry about me dating anybody else. Of course, the women I date can't figure out their phones to put on Facebook, so that'll be all right. June 20th, Finger Lakes Casino.
All right, we'll take a moment. A famous person who has spent time and I believe owns property. I thought owned property in the greater Rochester area is probably not coming back. Marriage dissolving. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get to that next. But first.
Oh.